Hello, lovely lady. My name is James, joining you from the beautiful Hollywood Hills in California. I am every guy that you've ever dated. I'm the guy who broke your heart. I'm the guy whose heart you broke. I'm the guy that didn't call you back after the first date. I'm the guy that maybe you pined after and chased and chased and chased, and I held you at arm's length just a little bit, but always just gave you something just to cling on to. I'm the guy that you were just sick and tired of. I'm the guy who was pretty poor, didn't have much money, who you were just you felt like you were settling for, and I'm the really successful guy that you just couldn't attract. I've been all of those things in my 20-year dating career. Thankfully, I've grown up a lot in the last 5 years or so, and I understand now the female and the male dynamic. What makes a man, what makes a woman attractive to the opposite sex. And if you stick around and watch this just a little bit longer, I'm going to unlock the male mind for you so you can finally get the love life that you deserve. You see, when I started to go on this journey of figuring out my own love life and why I wasn't having success with women or why I was having success with women, I figured out what is it that's keeping women from finding the men of their dreams. You know, I got a lot of platonic girlfriends, great women, wonderful friends of mine. And for years, they've been struggling with finding Mr. Right. And they're always saying to me, you know what, James, I can't find a quality guy. Where are all the quality men? And then I've got my guy friends who are really successful guys. I'm talking millionaires, CEOs, well-rounded people, guys who work in charities, good family life, well brought up, good morals, those kind of top 10% quality guys. And they're saying we can't find any quality women. And I realize that there's some kind of problem going on here. There's some issue that there's these quality men, these quality women, but there's something going on in between that's making it impossible for them to meet. Well, not so much to meet, but to actually match. And I thought, wow, I've got to solve this problem, not only for myself, because I want to get married and I want to settle down, I want to find the best woman for me, but I also want to help my girlfriends, my platonic friends who are girls, get the guy that they want, and my guy friends to get the girl that they want. So, you know, I had my heart broken. I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. But first, I really have studied this. You know, I've literally read every relationship book. I've interviewed movie stars. I mean, I've been a celebrity journalist in Los Angeles, California for about 10 years, interviewing everyone and anyone that you can think of to try and get to the bottom of this relationship thing. I've interviewed George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Hugh Jackman, sports stars including David Beckham, Tom Brady from the New England Patriots. I mean, I've interviewed all these guys and I always ask them the same question. What is it about women that attracts you to them? What is it about your wife, or what was it about your wife that you went, that's the woman for me above all else? And when I got their answers, I realized that there were a number of things that women were actually doing wrong. I mean, most women want to get that top guy, that top 10%. Now for you, it might be different than what one of your girlfriends wants, right? So for you, it might be a millionaire, a real estate investor, a CEO. For another woman, it might be a musician or someone who works in a charity, like I said. Or it could be a world changer, a politician, or it could be an intellectual like a professor or a scientist. Whatever it is to you, these kind of quality men, the men that I call in the top 10%, they are out there, but for some reason you can't get to them. Or if you do get to them, something's going on where they're not interested in you, or they're like giving you a chance, but ultimately they're walking away. You know, I've got a great friend of mine, a great girlfriend of mine who lives in New York City. She's 41, maybe she's 42, and I love her to death. But she's pretty much given up. She's pretty much given up on love and finding the guy of her dreams. I mean, I've been over to her place and she will literally drink a bottle of wine a night, sit on the sofa and just flick through Netflix between different TV shows, and nothing ever changes. And it was like that for about the 5 years that I knew her up until recently when I passed on this knowledge to her. I'll tell you a little bit about what's happened to her since a little bit later on. And then I got another friend here in Los Angeles. Again, I can't tell you their real names or they'll kill me. Same thing, late 30s, probably 38, 39, hadn't had a date in 6 years. Hadn't had a date with a man in 6 years. And again, same kind of thing. She was like, where are all the guys? Why won't the guys ask me out? you know, I've met some guys, but there's something going on and they're not attracted to me. Or it was like, I can't meet any quality guys. Like the guys I'm meeting are just average to me. You know, they're just average. They haven't got their stuff together. They're immature. Their finances are in disarray. Is this all I can do? Like, do I have to settle for this? Does that sound like you at all? Like, have you gone through this kind of struggle? And I've got another friend of mine, again, in Los Angeles. Same kind of thing. Again, this time she's 43, 44. And same issue, you know, for like she'd actually gone out on some dates, but again, she's like, do I have to settle for these bozos? You know what I mean? Like the guys are just not her dream guy. It's not this successful quality guy that she wanted. And this is a real problem because at the same time, my guy friends who are successful, you know, they're all over the world too. They're not just here in LA, but in New York and Chicago and Austin and back in Sydney, Australia, and friends in London. You know, these are guys in their late 30s, 40s, maybe early 50s, who've made millions of dollars, who've got their life in order, who understand the difference between good and bad and right and wrong, like quality guys. They're saying, you know, where are all the quality women? They can meet beautiful looking women, but ultimately they're not choosing them to be their wife or the mother of their children. So again, there's this problem that's going over and over and over and over again. So I told you a little bit just a second ago about this heartbreak that I suffered. So I'm going to tell you the story because this is really what led me to go along this journey of helping women meet that top quality, top 10% guy that I know that you want, that I know that my girlfriends want. So I was in Colombia and I was learning Spanish and I met a beautiful Colombian woman. And as soon as I saw her, I fell in love with her. She had this brown hair, she was really pretty. I got to meet her family, a really loving family. She had a great relationship with her family. She had a career. And I just fell in love with her. I fell in love with her look. I fell in love with how caring she is. I fell in love with the fact that she loves her family so much. I mean, her generosity, all of those kind of things. And we started a romance and it was amazing. And in my mind, I was in love. Now I had to come back to the States, and so I would go back and forth to Colombia and between the States. And she was always saying, you know, I like you, James, but I'm just not ready for a relationship. And in my mind, I was thinking, this is the woman I'm going to marry. This is the woman I'm going to marry. This is the quality woman that I've been searching for my whole life. No more like playing around, no more breaking hearts or like having my heart broken. This is the one. And each time she was like, James, I'm not really sure I want to have a relationship. So she just sort of dangled a carrot just a little bit, you know, enough to keep me interested and stay in the game, but not enough where I felt really comfortable. And this went on for about 18 months. I mean, I tried everything. I was like, come back to New York with me, I'll move to Colombia. I remember I wrote a 3-page love letter to her in perfect Spanish, and my Spanish wasn't very good. I actually went to a Spanish class and typed out the letter that I wanted to send her in English, and then the teacher and I actually wrote up on the board, this is how you say it in Spanish. I wrote it on perfect paper, put it in the envelope and sent it off to her, professing my love to her and, you know, telling her and trying to convince her why we would be great together in the future. But it had the wrong effect. She ran the other way. I can't really explain why she ran the other way because I haven't really spoken to her about that, but she did. And I was coming from a position of neediness. I needed her. I needed that validation. I needed her to be with me. And I remember finally, after about 18 months of chasing her, she got me on the phone. She said, James, I made a decision. I don't want you to wait for me. I just don't see a future for us. And it crushed me. I mean, it crushed me like this. For 18 months, I thought about her. She was the last thing I thought about before I went to sleep at night. She was the first thing I thought about when my eyes opened in the morning in bed. And I was devastated. And I'm now in my mid to late 30s and I'm devastated. And I'm going to admit something. Don't share this with any of your guy friends, okay? But I literally, about an hour after she told me that on the phone, I literally walked back to my place and I got on the phone and I called my mum back in Australia. And I cried like a little girl. I couldn't help it. You know, this is a grown man crying like a little girl to his mummy back in Australia. It was embarrassing and it was excruciating. And just telling you now, I'm embarrassed. But I'm telling you because it was gut-wrenching. Because I want you to know that I know how gut-wrenching it is for you if you've had a similar situation like this, or if you're waiting for Mr. Right and he's not coming, or you're frustrated with your love life and you feel that pain and you feel that frustration. Because I felt that pain and I felt that frustration. And the truth is that I probably deserved that, because all through my 20s, admittedly, I was a bit of a player. I was, like I said at the beginning of this video, I was the guy that didn't call you back, or I was the guy that came on like really, really heavy in the beginning and then pulled away in the end. You know, I had a great girlfriend. I cheated on my girlfriend. I had a girlfriend I was cheated on. I know how that feels. I was a great boyfriend, completely faithful, wonderful relationship, but there was just something missing with another girl, and it always ends the same. It's just pain and suffering. And then I've gone through long stretches where women haven't been in my life, and I'm thinking to myself, am I like socially inept here? Like, what is it about me that's turning these women off? I'm going out to bars, I'm, you know, talking to girls in the street, but they're like, stay away from me. And I know that pain and that suffering. I mean, not as much as the pain and suffering as the woman, the Colombian woman that I fell in love with and who broke my heart. I mean, that was suffering. So if you've felt any of those kind of things, I know that feeling. Trust me, I know that feeling. And that incident was really the catalyst for me to look at my entire love life, to look at my personality, my ego, my social life, my friends, all those kind of things. And I just set upon this journey. Like I said, I read every book. I interviewed John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. The book sold 50 million copies. I sought out relationship experts. I sought out women relationship experts, male relationship experts. In fact, I interviewed John Gray and I stuck it up on the Alpha Male Club podcast. And it was John Gray teaching men how to understand women and get into the female mind. And that episode to this date has been the most popular episode of all the Alpha Male Club podcasts. I mean, guys were writing into me saying, oh my God, thank you so much. I had no idea about women. Now I don't understand them completely, but now I understand them a whole lot more. So I started to help my guy friends with this, but more importantly, well, not necessarily more importantly, but I then started to help my girlfriends with this, my female friends. And I started seeking out people. Like I said, I started asking really, really successful guys, movie stars. I mentioned Brad Pitt and Bradley Cooper before. I also interviewed Matthew McConaughey, the Oscar winner, Usher, the musician, Drake, who else was there? Adam Scott, the Australian golfer. Really, really successful guys. And again, just kept asking them, what is it about women that attracts you to them? What do you look for in a quality woman that you would say, yes, I want that woman to be my girlfriend, I want that girlfriend to be my wife. And what they're telling me, and what these relationship experts are telling me, and what my friends are telling me, for the most part, is completely different than what you would actually think. You see, you as a woman, this is what I figured out, you as a woman have been told 3 lies since you were a little girl, okay? And they're not deliberate lies, it's just, you know, your mother or your father or your teachers or your friends have been telling you these lies, but they haven't even known that they're lies. And the first lie is that there are no good guys in the world, okay? That is a huge lie. First of all, it's just a nonsense, because I know all of my friends here in Los Angeles are amazing guys. I only surround myself with amazing, positive guys who love their lives, who love their careers, who are always positive about everyone else. I mean, there are so many quality guys in the world, and you've probably met them, but you just either haven't realized, or you haven't presented the best version of yourself for them to then sort of claim you, if you like, for them to be attracted to you. So that's the first lie that you've been told, okay, that there are no quality guys. There are. The second lie is this Hollywood fate story that miraculously one day you're going to walk into Starbucks with your book and you're going to drop it, and some knight in shining armor is going to come up, pick up the book and say, here you go, and you're just going to meet him like that. And all of a sudden you're going to fall in love and live happily ever after. The Hollywood fate story. You know, Hollywood leads us to believe that this is true because we see it in all these romantic comedies all the time, these cute little meetings, and he just pops out of nowhere. But it's not happening, is it? I mean, if you're still sitting on the sofa, drinking a glass of wine, watching TV, waiting for the phone to ring, no one's texting you, nobody's calling you, you're not getting any dates, or you're going out with average guys, then you know that this Hollywood fate story is just not true. It's bogus, okay? There are strategies to find Mr. Right. There are strategies to find this guy. And just relying on chance and waiting for it to happen and it's just going to miraculously happen without you putting in any work or any effort is preposterous. I mean, I didn't always think it was preposterous. I bought into this lie myself. But since I've gone on this journey of talking to people and learning strategies and teaching women and helping women and guys, I've learned that the Hollywood fake story just isn't real. And then the third thing is that the third lie you've been told is that all men are shallow, that they're only interested in a woman's looks. It's not true, okay? It's not true. Women seem to think, oh, you know, I need to look like a supermodel, I need to have a perfect body and voluptuous breasts and the big hair and perfect makeup, and I need to look $1 million. No, there's a difference between a man being turned on by a woman for her physical beauty and a man being attracted to a woman for her health. Okay, so there's a massive difference. If you're a healthy woman, if you take care of yourself through exercise and good nutrition, through spirituality, through always trying to be a better woman, then a man is going to recognize that. Because a man is looking at you thinking, A, is this a woman that I want to sleep with? And B, is this a woman that could be my wife? And C, is this a woman who could be the mother of my children? Is this someone that I could share my life with? And if you're unhealthy, and you're unhealthy looking, or you're partaking in unhealthy behavior, then the man is like thinking there's red flags there. Now I know it works both ways, right? You don't want to be with a guy who's unhealthy and doesn't take care of himself and all those kind of things. It's the same thing, but don't believe this idea that men are shallow, that we only want like the perfect, gorgeous supermodels. We don't. We just want a woman who's confident enough in herself to take care of herself, that's healthy looking, that tries to better herself, not just in her physicality, but also mentally as well. So there are 3 lies that you've been told, and we just got to dispel those lies right now and get them out of the way. So again, I gathered all of this information, all of these little tips and tricks to give to women to help them finally find Mr. Right, to finally get out there and meet the quality man that she wants. And I created this great newsletter and I sent it off to like thousands of women, and I'm always sending like the latest research that I've got and the latest interviews that I've done. And so if you want to grab that newsletter, then just put in your email address there, you can see it on the screen, and I'll start sending you some great stuff, some great tips and secrets to finally meet the man of your dreams. Now, look, we have to stop this epidemic of quality men in the world and quality women who are not matching, okay? If you are still sitting on the sofa and you're still waiting for that phone to ring, or you're tired of going out and you're actually at the point now where you're thinking, wow, I better settle. I've got to settle for an average guy. Don't do it. Don't settle for the average guy, okay? You deserve so much more. The quality guys are out there. We just have to like make these little subtle changes to maybe some of your actions or some of your mindsets, and these quality guys will come into your life, I promise you, okay? Because there are quality guys out there. So look, you're at a crossroads right now. You can either keep doing what you have been doing and nothing's working, right? I mean, the reason that you're still watching this video right now is because probably things are not working for you. Maybe you're about to settle with a guy, or maybe you think, near enough's good enough, or maybe you got no dates at all. Maybe you're just completely lacking in self-confidence. Maybe you're just flicking the TV screen and you're staying at home and you force yourself to go out every once in a while, but you're still not meeting guys and no one's asking you out. If that's you, then you have to change. You have to take action, okay? You've got to get up and you've got to take action. You've got to make change in your life. And the good news is that a lot of times it's not a huge amount of work. Sometimes it's just little subtle changes. It might be just like as simple as smiling in a first encounter. I can't tell you how many women have got, they call it the bitchy resting face, or the resty bitch face. Like women who are just constantly like this, or they're just checking their phone. I know they've done this study where it shows that if a man or a woman, if someone sees another human being for the first time and they're smiling, and that's their first vision of that person, then their perception of that person and the way that they feel about that person is 10 times more powerful in a positive manner than if the first time they saw someone, they were just in that resting bitchy face. So it might just be something as simple as smiling. posture. I can't tell you how many women I meet who are all like slouched forward the whole time. And in my view, that doesn't look like a confident woman. That looks like someone who's insecure. That doesn't look like someone that I'm going to be captivated by, that I'm going to be mesmerized by. So again, just a couple little body language tricks. Then obviously conversation. You get into a conversation with a man, you don't know what to say, you don't know whether you should talk too much, you don't know whether you should let him lead the conversation. If the conversation's stuck a little bit, you don't know whether you should come over the top. All these little things, you might just be making a little mistake, and Mr. Right, this top 10% quality guy, walks away because he makes a decision about you that may not actually be true, or it might be true. Again, it just could be a subtle change. Like I said, I've spoken to body language experts, and conversation experts, social skills experts, and I've got all this information. Again, if you want me to send it to you in the newsletter, just put in your email address there and I'll send you all this kind of stuff. Again, it might just be little subtle changes that you need to make in order for you to get this Mr. Right, this man of your dreams. Now again, I mentioned my friends right at the beginning. So when I got all of this great information from these experts and Hollywood movie stars and these amazing successful guys and all of my successful guys friends, and I passed on this knowledge to my friend in New York, she got a date. Within 2 weeks, she got a date. Now, the date wasn't a successful date for her because it didn't go anywhere, but it was the catalyst for that first change. And she went, oh, okay, maybe this is working. Then a couple of weeks later, she got another date. And then a couple of weeks later, she got another date. So this has been 6 months now. She still hasn't found Mr. Right, but she's been on about 10 dates in the last 6 months, which is 10 dates more than she's been on for like the previous 5 years. So she incorporated those changes. She took the advice, she read and she listened to what these successful guys are saying that they want in a woman. She made the necessary changes. She went out there, she put it out into the world, and her dating life changed. I mentioned a girlfriend of mine in Los Angeles. Great girl, okay? I checked in with her just 2 weeks ago, actually. I hadn't spoken to her in 3 months as I've been traveling. And same thing, for like months, she couldn't get a date. Couldn't get a date. I checked in with her. She'd been on a date with an amazing man. The guy has got her moving out of her Los Feliz apartment. Los Feliz is in the eastern suburbs of Los Angeles. Moving in with him to Venice Beach, which is on the coastline, obviously. He's already met her family, her parents, and he's already saying, I want to be engaged to you within 6 months. I mean, that is a huge turnaround, a monster turnaround. This other friend of mine, also in Los Angeles, same problem, struggling, was going out on dates with guys, but just super average, like average guys. She was like, oh my God, is this the best that I can do? She incorporated some of the changes that I suggested based on the research that I got. Again, I'm not the expert, I'm just bringing the information from the experts. And I passed the knowledge on to her. Right away, everything changed. She's got like 2 dates a week for the past 4 weeks. One of the guys was amazing. She's super keen on. Some of the other guys she wasn't. But again, the dating life just went from like stagnant, nothing happening, to all of a sudden like giving herself opportunities. She said to me the other day, she said, James, months ago, I felt invisible. I just felt invisible. Exact words. And now she says that she feels great, she feels confident, she feels feminine. Guys are now noticing her. Guys are now taking her out. And again, it wasn't like a huge shift, there was just a little subtle shift. So stop thinking this doomsday stuff that there are no good quality guys out there, this Hollywood fake story where some Prince Charming is just going to come and swoop you up without you putting in the work, and that men are all shallow and they're only interested in your looks. It's just not true, okay? There are strategies, there are things that you can do to put yourself in a situation to finally meet that top 10% quality guy, that successful guy, the guy who's going to take care of you, the guy of your dreams, the guy that you always wanted, for him to come into your life. Okay, so I want that for you. Not only because I want that for you, the woman watching now, but I also want it for my guy friends and for me, so we can figure out how the quality guys can meet the quality girls and we can all live great, happy, and fulfilled love lives. That's what I want. That's what I want from me. That's what I want from you. So please join me on this journey. I want to share everything that I have learned about relationships, about men, about women, about what women do wrong, about what men do wrong. I want to help you get inside the mind of the man, I'm going to tell you why he runs away, why he's like breaks your heart, why he can't commit, why you've been in this relationship for 2 years and he's still not asking you to marry, why when you meet a guy you think it goes well, you think he's going to ask you for his number but he doesn't. You know, all these kind of things. I'm going to unlock the male mind for you because I've been every kind of guy. Like I said right at the beginning of this video, I've been the guy you've always dated, okay? And I've studied my own mind. The breakup with the Colombian woman who I fell in love with just set me on this journey to discover my own mind. And in the process, I discovered how women work and how men work and what is the correct way to go about your dating life and what is the incorrect way, the way that's just going to keep you stagnant, keep you not moving forward. So please, if you're interested in this, please do put your email address in there. I'll send you everything that I know. And you know, I really want you to take action. Remember, just a little bit of action moves the needle forward, okay? So don't do what you've always been doing, which is maybe nothing, or maybe you need to completely change what you have been doing if it hasn't working, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So put your email in there. I'm going to send you all these great tips that I know, and I want you to get the love life that I know you absolutely deserve. Once again, I'm James, and I'll see you soon.